already really good at factoring x squared plus bx plus c, because you're always looking for a number that multiplies to the c term and something that would add to the b term. But the difference today is now instead of just having 1x squared, we're going to have something other than 1 out front. Okay? So the essential question today really is this: how can you factor the trinomial ax squared plus what? Bx plus what? The only thing that's different today, instead of having 1x squared, we could have anything x squared now, and how that looks. All right? So we're going to factor ax squared plus bx plus c. We're going to use some factoring to solve some real life problems. You said you don't want to do any guessing and checking, right? So how about we go Parsons way? Is that a fair deal? Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the format of it. If you can just follow the format, life will be good. All right? All right, here's the deal. Suppose you have any function, ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? All right, I'm just going to kind of step this out. All right? The first thing I always do, kids, is I always tell them, all right, see the a and the c value here? I always draw an arrow like that. Okay? You're going to take a times c, and you're going to get some number. All right, and we'll do an example here in a second. You're going to take a times c and get some number. All right, then I always tell kids to do this next. I always say, all right, once you know that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put a box around the b and the ac. Forget that the x is in here, but I'm kind of boxing the b and the ac. All right? Same kind of principle right down here. You're going to find two numbers that add to b and times to AC. All right, you're like, what the heck does that mean, Parson? So let me think of an example here. All right, here's a good one. 8x squared equals plus 2x. I think that's right. Okay. Here's the deal. Instead of having just 1x squared out here, kids, what do we have out front? Okay, what two values would I multiply together first, according to what I'm telling you? 8 and what? 8 and negative 15. Okay, somebody take 8 times negative 15. Tell me what you got. Negative 120? All right. Now what I want you guys to do then is this, kids. We need to do this. I'm going to put a box around these two numbers right here, or I'm just going to maybe circle them. I might say, all right, I've got 2 and I've got negative 120 here. Whoops. I've got the 2 and negative 120 right here. Okay, our job, kids, is to find two numbers that multiply to what? What was A and C down here? Negative 120, right? Two numbers that multiply to this but add up to what at the same time? 2. Now this is where this calculator is going to come in pretty sweet. I hope I wrote this down right. What did I say the product was going to be, kids? And the sum was going to be... Oh, did I do? I did. What were my values? What's it say my values were? Negative 10 and 12. Think about it. What is negative 10 times 12? Negative 120. Okay. What's negative 10 plus 12? 2. All right? So I'm going to come back to this right here and say, okay. Once you've found those two values, here's your step 2. All right? Your step 2 then is, all right, you got to be careful about this. Your step 2 is to split the middle term. And I'll show you what I mean by that here in a second, but split the middle term. Okay, that 2x right there, that 2x was found by what two values on that previous calculator? What were our two values that we got out there? Negative 10x and what else? 12, right? Negative 10 and 12. So what we do is this. We come into this part where it says split the middle. We rewrite the original problem as the 8x squared. But guys, we're going to replace that 2x with, what was it, a positive 12x? These two values came from our calculator, didn't they? Wasn't 12x and negative 10x still make 2x? So don't I still have the problem, right? Okay, you're going to use those two values to rewrite b and split this. So here's the minus 15. Okay? So what I mean by splitting is this. Use those two values that you find in your calculator, and what you're going to do is you're going to split right between the x's there. All right? And then step 3, I'm going to tell you right here, and then we're going to come down here and do a problem. Step 3 is going to be, finally, factor both sides. Now, kids, I'm going to tell you this right now. This method that I'm showing you right now, you will 100% know if you are right or wrong when you get to the end. Okay? How many of you like knowing that when you get an answer, you absolutely know it's right? You don't like being right, Gracie? No. All right. Do you have a question, Logan? Hey. So here's the deal. I've kind of set you up for what to do here. This is kind of the way to factor. So first thing, find two numbers that do what, kids? Add to what? B, but at the same time they multiply to this AC value that we have to get down here. In our case, we had to multiply to negative 120 and add up to what? Those two values were positive 12 and negative 10 from our sum and product calculator, right? Now, what I'm going to tell you is this. Just look at the left side. We're going to factor both sides here, but look at the left side here, kids. Look at the 8x squared and the 12x. What's the largest factor I could take out of 8 and 12? 4. I could take a 4 out, and I could also take an x out on both sides, couldn't I? Okay, watch this right here. I'm going to write this up here. You don't necessarily need to do that. But on the left side, kids, if I take 4x out, what's 8x squared divided by this 4x? What's 8 divided by 4? 2 times what? What's 12x divided by 4x? 3. Okay. Then the other part of it is this. Take a look at the right side. Now, kids, on the right side, what kind of x do you have right here? Always take the same sign as this leading one right here. So what's the largest, I should say, what would be the best factor to take out of negative 10x and negative 15? 5. What kind of 5? Negative. You want that sign to match this right here. If this was a plus sign, you take a positive. But since this sign right here is negative, we're taking out a what? Negative. Okay, what's negative 10x divided by negative 5?
2x. Negative 2x.
Nope, positive 2x. Negative divided by negative would be a what? Now, this negative 15 divided by that negative 5. What's negative 15 divided by negative 5? Say it again. It's like plus 3, right? Guys, when I do this right here, what do you notice about the parts in parentheses? What do you notice about the parts in parentheses? And when these parts in parentheses end up the same, you know right there automatically you're on your way to being right. Because if those parts in parentheses would match, something went what? Wrong. So the big idea here is when parts match, you're on the right track. So let's try out, let's just go through this whole thing together. I want to show you how to do this, and we're going to practice this a lot today to get used to it, okay? Because this is kind of one of those things, this just the way to do it. Okay? Now, do you guys trust me when I say I think that this is the best way to do it without having to guess and check a million times? Does it look like a little bit of work? Yeah, okay. But I would rather do a little bit of work and get it right one time rather than guess 20 different ways and get it right on the 17th try. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's try them. What's the first thing we're going to do with this here, kids? What two numbers do I want to multiply together? 4 and 60 make what value? Okay. Somebody jump into your calculator and tell me what two values we put in for product and sum. You're going to put 240 in for product and for 32 for sum. Tell me what those two numbers are when you do this.
12 and 20.
12 and how much?
20.
I might just jot them down up here. 12 and 20 are what we get out. Guys, what is 12 plus 20? What's 12 times 20? 240. Okay, how do you factor this? Here's how this works. We're going to replace 32x and write it as what x plus what x. Okay, so write this. The 4x squared stays the same. But we are going to replace the 32x and write it as the sum of these two numbers that this gives us in that calculator. So plus 12x plus what? Now what's still hanging out here on the end, kids? Plus 60, right? Oh, shoot, Parson. There it is. Okay. So we found those two values, 12 and 20. What do you want to do now?
Split this.
Oh, I thought it was karate chop it. I forgot to put a plus sign in here, didn't I, guys? There should be a plus 20x, is that right? Okay, split this thing right here. You got a left half with two terms. Yeah, we're right half with two terms. Alrighty. 4x squared and 12x. What's the biggest factor I could pull out of those two terms on the left-hand side? For what? If I take 4x out of this right here, kids, if I take 4x out of 4x squared, what's left? If I take 4x out of 12x, what's left? So plus 3, right? You guys buying what I'm selling there? Okay. Look at the right half, 20x plus 60. What's the largest factor I can take out of 20x and 60? I can take a 20 out of both. Okay, so I'm going to put plus 20 or minus 20, kids? Okay, here's how we're getting close to being completely factored. Kids, 20x divided by 20. 60 divided by 20. Let me ask you a question. Take a look at the two parts that I have in parentheses so far. Are they a match or do they not match? And if they are a match, are we on the right track? Okay, here's how this works now. This is the final step to it. Okay, this is the final parts of it. Guys, do you agree we're really taking x plus 3 times 4x here? You agree we're taking x plus 3 times 4x in this problem? But we're also taking x plus 3 times what? Okay, these two values out in front of the same set of parentheses become their own set of parentheses. So the two parts out in front of parentheses in factored form is going to look like this. You're going to call it 4x plus 20. And those were the two terms out in front of what? Times x plus 3. We take x plus 3 times 4x, and we take x plus 3 times the 20 there. All right? Now, I would love to tell you that once you do that step, you're always done. But technically not. Okay? I'm going to put one more little note up here. Look at both sets of parentheses now. Okay? So look at that first set, 4x plus 20 there, kids. And think of just about 4x and 20. Is there anything you could factor out of 4x and 20?
Yeah.
What value would come out of 4x and 20, kids? Close. Can I take a 4 out of both of these? I could, couldn't I? So I could factor this first part. Can x plus 3 be broken down any further? No, so take a look at this both sets. In this first set right here, that 4x plus 20, I can take a 4 out of both. Now, this is just one of those ones where I got to look at it. When I get to this part right here, just double check to see if either one of these can't go any further. The 4x plus 20 would become 4 times x plus what, kids? And times what still? Okay. There's your finalized answer right there. All right? Now, I think I've given you a way to do this and be successful with it. I think we should try some more. What do you say? Try a couple more here? Okay. Anybody want to volunteer to come up and do the next one? No. Or want to see another one just to make sure we're 100% sure? Give me a show of hands. Let me know that you have that page down and we'll go through it there. You guys got all that down on that page? Anybody need more time with that? Are we ready to roll on to page 2? Okay, let's try this again. Let's see if we have our steps memorized, first of all. We want to factor these right here. So we're going to go what times what first, kids?
2 times 6.
Which is what value? 12. Okay? This one we might be able to think of mentally. Can you think of anything that times to 12 and adds to positive 7? Times to 12 adds to positive 7. 3 and? Okay, so 3 and 4 is what we get. I'm just going to jot that down up here. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2x squared. Kids, what's the 7x going to get replaced with in the middle?
3x.
So 3x plus what? That's my new 7x now, isn't it? And that came from that sum product calculator plus what value on the end, kids? All right, so once I've rewritten that b term, what am I doing to this now? Split. Yes, guys, you got this. Okay, what can you take out of the left side? I can take an x out of both, can't I? Couldn't I take an x out of both? So do you guys agree that this would be x times what?
2.
Okay. Am I going to factor a positive value or a negative value out of this one on the right? Why positive? Okay, so what could I factor out of 4x plus 6? 2. So I take a 2 out. What's left in parentheses? Quick question here, kids. Am I on the right track? How do you know? The 2x plus 3 quantities are exactly the same, which means we're doing something right. So what parts are in front of the 2x plus 3, kids?
X.
And the what? So factored form would be x plus 2. The x and the positive 2 are both getting multiplied to what?
2x.
Guys, check. Can x plus 2 be broken any further? Can 2x plus 3, anything that you can take out of 2x and 3 to make that better? So that is, you're done. Woo-hoo. Let's try another one, example 2, and then I'm going to have you guys try example 3 on your own. All right? We went kind of quickly through that, but you guys, you told me what to do. All right? So I'm going to kind of be quiet here. I have a volunteer on this next one over here on the right to tell me how to start. 4 times 3. Logan, you agree with her? Okay, so this would be positive 12 right here, right? So I'm going to go to my calculator here. We need to multiply to positive 12. You guys, I don't have buttons to push in there. Can you guys push positive 12 and negative 7 for me?
Do you have seating charts by chance?
Yeah. Guys, what are you getting for a value there? Do you want the class roster that would go
No.
with that? As I think I just have their last initial on it.
That's fine.
Okay. What were your values again, kids? -4 and -3. Okay, so check this out. You guys are doing awesome with this. So you said -4 and -3, Logan? All right, help me out, kids. We're going 4x squared. How am I rewriting that middle term now, kiddos?
-1.
Okay, Gracie, I think you were saying the same thing, right? Minus 4x minus 3x? What's still hanging out at the end? Okay, I'm done talking. This one's going to get a little interesting. I made a mistake. Where is it?
You have to put an X on it.
Very good. I forgot to put that x after that. Make sure that when you rewrite that middle term, you call them an x term. All right, now what?
Split.
What am I factoring out of both? I still have another mistake up here, 4x squared, right? What am I factoring out of the left half?
Who's that? You didn't have an initial on that one.
Which one?
This one here.
Josh Bechtold.
Got it. Okay, good. That's on you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good day. All right, what are you taking out, kiddos? Did I hear 4x?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times what? X, that's good.
Minus one.
Minus 1, excellent. All right, this is the part I want you to be careful on. What type of value am I taking out this time? Negative.
3.
If I take negative 3 out of this,
Minus 1.
are we on the right track? What's factored form going to look like in the end? Times what? 4x minus 3 break further? Can x minus 1 break further? Do you guys want me to FOIL this out to make sure we're right, or are you trusting that this process is telling us that it's right when we get the x minus 1s to match?
Trust it.
We trust it, don't we? Okay. All right, here's what I'd like to have happen before you leave this room today. I'll just say this. I'll make a little deal with you. We're going to have homework on this, but it depends on when I decide to give it to you. If I give it to you tonight or if I wait until tomorrow. If you can get both of these right, everybody's got to get both of these right now. Get those right, we'll call it good for the day. And I won't give you any homework to work on tonight, okay? Sound like a fair deal? No? Yeah?
Yes, it is.
Hey, what's going on right now? Anybody know what that was? I'm sure it was a contact trace thing. Do you know what's going on? Anybody know what's going on?
I'm assuming someone that was there had COVID. And that he was trying to see it now 6 feet apart. And is Bailey in that class? No.
She is my second number class.
I know she's.
Okay then, that's not good. All right, get these two right so we don't have homework. All right.
Very good chance.
Volkers, I like those shoes.
Thank you.
How do you keep them so clean?
I don't know.
Just don't run through the mud, right?
No. All right.
If you guys want to help each other out, feel free to do that. All right.
Huh?
Are you talking to me? Somebody said hello. I thought they wanted to talk to me.
I said huh.
Oh. Guys, are you working on the top left one right there? Do I have the right values up there by my calculator?
Yeah.
All right.
What's matter if we have -2?
Are they both of them?
Yes, actually it would, because negative, you got to have more negative than you do positive there, because isn't that a minus 7x there,
Oh.
right? Now the question's going to come up, can I switch the order around on these? Actually, you can. You're still going to get the right answer. So it wouldn't matter if I put minus 9x front and 2x here. You're still going to get the right answer.
Can we do both of them?
Hmm?
Can we do both of them?
Yeah, do both of them, yep. You show of hands, how many still need more time finishing these two right? Okay, take your time, we got plenty. You get these both right, I won't send an assignment out today, all right? Let me ask you guys a question. Have I set my 2 up at least on, at least kind of right? Have I used the right values up here and here
Yeah.
to rewrite my middle terms? All right, somebody give me an answer on the bottom left here. What did you guys get? X minus 3 parentheses. 3x plus 2. All right, just curious, how many have those two? X minus 3. It doesn't matter which order, just the same two binomials there. Okay. Anybody want to take a shot at this one over here on the right? What'd you get for an answer? 2x minus 5.
Times x plus 3.
How many agree with those, maybe? Okay, let's check. Help me. Do I at least have this set up right? Do I have the right values here? I got negative 18 when I took 3 and negative 6. I went to the calculator. Product, negative 18. Sum, negative 7. I got negative 9 and 2 there to rewrite that middle term. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, how about the 6 and the negative 5 up here? Guys, I was almost confused up here. What value did I have to put in for sum in front of x up here? 1. Okay, what could I factor out over here on the left? The way I set mine up, what could I take out of 3x squared and 2x? So we could take an x out, and we would have 3x plus 2, right? What kind of value am I taking out over here? Got to take a positive or negative 3. Let's see, I take it out of here, I've got, what, 3x plus 2? Oh, goody gumdrops, because what matches here?
I got the same answer. I didn't talk to it.
Same thing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have x minus 3 times 3x plus 2, so that would work. This is okay. All right, kids, we're 1 for 1. How many had that, by the way? An x minus 3 and a 3x plus 2 there. Okay, let's check this next one. What could I factor out the way I set this up? Of 2x squared and 6x on the left, what could I take out of both terms?
2x.
Yep, 2x out. Ooh, I'm getting an x plus 3. What type of value should I take out over here?
Negative 5.
Oh my gosh, kids, what about my parentheses parts?
They're the same.
They match, and they're going to be times a 2x and what else? a minus 5 here, so it should be 2x minus 5 is one binomial, x plus 3 is the other. All right, guys, good work. Just give me a show of hands before we leave. How many are kind of onto the process as to how to do this, right? Tomorrow we'll pick this up. There's not going to be an assignment tonight. The only thing I would tell you is if you have 2.5 still going and big ideas, try to get that done by 10 o'clock tonight. The practice, if you didn't turn that in today, try to have that to me tomorrow, okay, kids? Questions at all? Good job today, guys. Good job.